Hello YouTube fam, how y'all doing? It's your Uncle Tim. This is Uncle Tim Rants and Reviews, the channel where I rant and I review. I'm your host, Uncle Tim. Fam, you know what? My wife is mad at me. And I know a lot of y'all say, hey Uncle, I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen. No, that ain't why she mad at me. She mad at me because she said, damn, I had told you to chill it out, right? Calm it down, right? She said, and you just damn near quit. She said, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Like, look, I didn't want you to quit. She just wanted me to calm down. And the thing was, man, she said, damn, I don't see not one package coming to this house, to the P.O. box, or anything. She said, it's like all of a sudden it just chilled out. And I was explaining to her, I said, man, I can't understand what you were saying. And, I was like, if I don't see it in the store, or, sometimes if I don't pre-order, because I still do pre-order sometimes, just one or two things. That way, if they come at the same time, I won't get kicked in the nuts, which is not bad. But, when you start talking about 5 or 6 figures pre-ordering, man, that's kind of rough because figures are not like $5 anymore. They like $35 in some places, man. So I'm just sitting here just thinking to myself, just alone thinking about some of the prices and what that had to do with some of the stuff, man. You know what, and I'm gonna say this, and I said this in a live video. If you want something, you got the money, get it. Simple as that. I'm not saying wait and play the long game on something that you want. And, it's been something you want for the longest. Like, you're like, man, they finally got this new figure that will complete my Avengers team or my X-Men team or, my G.I. Joe Classified or my Fantastic Four team or my DC Multiverse Justice League or, the Sinister Six from, Spider-Man or, I'm just saying Transformers 86 movie characters. I'm just saying, just keep all of that in mind. This is something that we don't get a chance to see a lot. We don't get a chance to see that a lot of stuff is changing, man. That, this toy industry right now, even though it's $1 billion industry, it's kind of on a decline just a little bit. Why? Because people are stepping back. With all the people that are being laid off, a lot of people are like, wait, hold on. I just want to see how all of this is going to, pan out, how this is going to work itself in the long run. Because, just to be honest, man, you have to pay attention to stuff. You have to look at it and be like, I don't know where I'm going to go with this, what we're going to actually do. And, I've been looking at stuff and I've been trying to pay attention to everything and how I'm going to, basically systematically do the stuff that I'm going to do, man. Right now I'm just like, hey, I'm okay. And my wife like, look, if it's some stuff that you want to get it, and she said, man, my primary thing with you was eBay and whatnot, Amazon. And she said, man, I said, those were my biggest things right there. Once you cut that out, I said, it looked like I quit. I said, because, she said, it was like packages coming almost every damn day. And she said, man, and, I just want to be honest, man, that was the thing that was getting me. Rather if you pay, $10 to $15 or $5 for each piece, all of that adds up. And, I understood that. I took the message and ran with it, man. I'm like, shit, I'm like, I don't need to cause waves where there's no waves, bro. And I was just like, man, collecting is a beautiful thing, man, but sometimes it can get out of control. And sometimes I am the poster child for things that get out of control, bro. Like at one point in time I was collecting guitars, bro, because, I had bought a guitar when I was younger. I think I was like 25, bought a guitar. Dude, I had just got a fantastic job, bro, making really good money. When I say really good money, dude, I was making damn good money at that time, in that year. Good money for me. While I was living, my rent wasn't that expensive. Dude, I bought a guitar. And bro, before I knew it, I had a whole damn room of guitars. They were all across the wall. With the neck to hold them up. Man, it was looking amazing. People were walking in like, damn, it's like I'm walking into a studio, dude. I didn't know you could play the guitar like that. Yeah, man. Man, won't you play a little something, man? It ain't like that, man. I gotta feel it. You gotta feel, you gotta be in the moment. And I got people really, they're like, damn, in the moment and stuff, like, damn, I could play, but not the greatest, but I could play. And they were like, and I just, I took my hand and just started playing a little something, and they looking like, damn, like, man, it feel like I'm somewhere. Dude, if you create the environment, you talk real good with it, people will swear you can do some everything, man. I was playing the keyboard because I had a keyboard in there. Dude, I had all kind of shit. I had a I, I went and got a mixer and stuff, man. Dude, look, I'm going to be honest with you, man. That was my first time making some decent money, man. And I was finding stuff at incredible deals, bro. And I was like, man, it's like I had a whole movie studio in there. And people were like, how much to book a session, man? Like some studio time and stuff, like. And I was like, oh no, man, if I really want to get back into that, man, because, people act like they don't got the money. And, man, look, my time is money. I'm talking like I'm some big time. Dude, I was doing all kind of stuff. Dude, I had all type of angles working, man. Dude, I had a candy store selling candy. I was making good money from that. I had the little studio thing going. I was making good money off of that with beats and stuff. I had a job. Dude, I was just all over the place. I was on eBay. Dude, and eBay had just came out. And dude, man, please. I'm like, nobody was ready for me back then. But that was back then. I don't know if I was 25 or a little older, man, but it was different, man. And that was the blessing right there that a lot of people don't understand. Being able to do a lot of stuff and sit back and talk about collecting. And, my wife, we were talking about some of the stuff she was there when I bought, and, how the man cave is looking. She said, it seems like, it's funny, she said, have anybody ever asked you, have you ran out of space yet? I said, maybe a few people done asked, but I said most people, for the most part, don't ask those questions. I said, I'm pretty sure they already know the answer. Like, I wonder how you got it. Like, where's stuff at? I just can't understand where it could be, And that's realistic talk right there, man. It ain't nobody, throwing shade or anything. I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, man, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm happy to be able to go out sometimes and find some stuff. I'm happy that people donate to the channel, both with product, their time, money. I just want to say thank you, especially Sanchi, Tracy. I want to say thank y'all. I want to make sure I say it and give you your flowers every time I do a video. I want to make sure your name is out there, and I just want to make sure I say thank you and thank you, because I appreciate it. Man, my wife was laughing. Oh, man, somebody said something on here that was so funny. They said, you sure you not Sanchi, right? My wife asked me that damn question, too. She said, you sure it's not you? Because she said, there's ways that you can do this. Because she said, you can be slick sometimes, right? I'm like, slick? Like, wait, hold up. I'm in here laughing, man. She had me going because she was like, man, because she said, you've been too good lately, right? Like I'm bad or something. Like, you've been too good lately. Man, and that made me smile, man. Man, look. One thing I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to say this over and over again. When you doing this, man, one thing I understand is loving yourself. Understanding what you're doing, getting stuff done right, man. I've been doing this for the longest, man, collecting. And, I've been learning to just not touch certain things, not mess with certain things anymore, man. And, things that I don't do good in or don't excel in as far as collecting, I leave it alone. There are certain things that I have around me that I'm like, man, I'm not gonna even pick up anymore. I got stuff over here that I'm like, man, that I don't even know. But I know a lot of those 2-packs they got for Marvel Legends, the gamer universe, dude, I want to get all those, man. You know, some people like, I don't see anything that I like. I like the figures, bro. I like what they doing. You know, I try to get my figures from a lot of different places, man. You know, I try to work on stuff, man. You know, sometimes you're not able to get everything that you want or to accomplish everything that you got out there. And we're going to do more conspiracy theory videos, too. I just got to put two and two together. You know, it's one for members only up there, because that is something that you have to listen to, because I wouldn't put that on a regular channel. And I got some up there for Red Pill. This is members only, because I don't want random people listening to that thinking that, you know, I feel a certain way about stuff, man. But, you know, the reason why a lot of this stuff is there, because there's a need to hear it. I believe as collectors, man, we are considered like children. We're considered not intelligent. We're considered that they can just run over us and do any kind of thing, man, you know. And like I said, I had the little kids say, man, are you gonna leave some for the rest of us, man? And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, you was here first. That little dude said, I was here at first, then I left. If you was there already, why you just didn't grab what you was getting? Like, you got to go ask your mama. Take it with you and go ask her. But, you know, I'm older. My thought process is a lot different than a kid's. But, you know, I end up leaving some stuff that I probably should have picked up, because 9 times out of 10 didn't get it. And, you know, that's the thing. You know, toys supposed to be for kids. There's a lot of stuff that's supposed to be for certain people, man, and I'm going to just be honest. If you doing what you doing, man, it's going to hurt somebody. If you getting too much of anything, it's going to hurt somebody. Man, I've been buying stuff for the longest, man. I've been enjoying myself for the longest. I've been doing what I'm doing for the longest. It's just crazy right now. And I'm just trying to make shit work, man. I'm just trying to get everything on board. Dude, like I told you, I got another wrestling ring. I'm going to take the AEW one down. I'm going to take it apart and just probably do a giveaway on it to give it to somebody. Probably pick up some wrestling figures and, you know, just add it to it and do a giveaway on it. Because, you know, I'm not getting rid of it, man. It's still good and everything, but it's not for what I want. I got another, you know, one that I got from Ross, man, and I'm just going to put it with it. So, with that being said, fam, thank you for watching. Peace out.